Hey guys, this is Tom Box. Welcome to MST.TV. I have a very special guest with us here today, VanillaScoop yugioh. Up there.
Hi everyone, this is VanillaScoop. I got to play against Tombox with this deck, and he wanted to show it off, and I figured I'd show it out to everybody else too. I get to play with some of my favorite cards in the game, and I thought it'd be pretty interesting. You can check me out at twitch.tv/VanillaScoop if you want to see more. If you're into VTubing, that's also something you can check me out for. Or at twitter.com/VanillaScoop yugioh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is my very first interview with a VTuber. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. Maybe there'll be more like this in the future. But anyways, why are we talking about this deck? Phantom Knight's Djinn. It's because it was very impactful when I played against it on the stream. It was so impactful that we reached out, we got this thing set up, and we're going to be talking about it. I did not expect what you did to me to happen. I thought, oh, it's a Phantom Knight deck. Maybe it's going to be like Julio Mendoza. We're going to deal with it. We're going to, deal with a bunch of negates. But no, that did not happen. It was one of the grindiest matches I've ever played. So you can grind with Phantom Knights with this deck. If that's what you want to try, you want to do something different, give it a spin, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've been working on for a long time. I've been playing different variations of this deck for years, pretty much ever since Winged Raiders when the set came out. I've been messing with Fan Knights in some way, and I like them a lot.
Yeah, so we're going to go through the profile. We'll show you guys the combo of what you're setting up. It is a Megaclops Turbo. It grinds really hard. It also has the OTK in the back pocket. And I believe I did get OTK'd once. That was pretty fun. But yeah, we can actually break down this entire deck profile. I know that you guys have some burning questions, but make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding notification bell if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, and check out VanillaScoop on Twitch and also Twitter. So let's begin this. We have, most of this is pretty standard. I'm not going to explain it in too deep. If you want the explanation, go check out VanillaScoop talking about it on his stream. We have triple Phantom Knight boots. We have triple Torn Scale. We have triple Cloak. So that's pretty standard. One Stained Greaves, double Ragged Gloves, and now we get into the level 3 territory. This is a rank 3 turbo deck, and we have triple Kagemusha Knight, which is searchable. That's a lot of level 3s. We're talking like you're really just spamming this guy out. Then we have Dangerous Tsuchinoko and Jackalope, so additional 3 accesses. These are free special summons with the Nessie to search them out. Probably if Nessie is your last card, this is the one that you want to throw out, so you can actually bring these guys out. And this one's interesting. Infernity Conjurer. What's up with this card?
Yeah, this card is definitely not standard. It was I remember seeing this card alongside the initial Infernity releases, and awkwardly, the first thing I thought this is a really good Phantom Knight card that has Phantom Knight nowhere in the name. While it's in the graveyard, while you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon this card and banish it to the field. When you put it as an Xyz material, it doesn't get banished, which leaves your grind game. Like, basically, as soon as this goes to the graveyard, for every single turn after that, you get a free level 3 just because. You just have no hand, you just special summon it, which is just half of material for a rank 3. And then obviously your crate is always loaded with Phantom Knights, just any other level 3, and just like every single turn, basically just a free Xyz monster.
Okay, this is really interesting because most cards that I think that are similar to this, I'm thinking like Darkworm, Supreme King Dragon. That guy requires you to control basically no monster to bring him out. This one is just no hand, which means you can control something. Oh man, what a great extender. That means the timing of this card can just always be perfect. Then we have one Psychic Wheeletter. It's a Wheeletter, guys. There's an extra E in there. I bet you guys thought it was a wielder. Yeah, at least I did for the most part. Then there is 2 Psychic Trackers. You're not using the synchroing effect of this, so these are just extra free summons if you control level 3s. Yeah. Okay, now for the spells, triple Allure of Darkness, a Foolish Burial, 1 Rhoda, Emergency Teleport, double Cosmic Cyclone and triple Dark Ruler. Is this going second or is it going first?
So this is built to go first. There's a lot of extra space to work with in the deck, so I decided to take the extra space and basically just play blowout cards for if you go second, and then also cards that are settable from your hand just to actually empty out your hand for your Conjurer, because obviously you have to have no cards in your hand to activate them. So worst case scenario, you go first and you draw a Dark Ruler. You're not trying to draw a Dark Ruler, but just being able to set it and get it out of your hand, or even just, again, worst case scenario, discard it with Torn Scale just to empty out your hand in any way possible, just get his effects off.
Okay. All right. And then we have one of the Phantom Knight's Shade Brigandine, triple Fogblade, and a very, very thick package. So we're talking 3 Cs here because we have 3 copies of the Phantom Knight's Wing. That's a
Yeah,
what's up with
I
that?
should probably just go ahead and explain that because it's definitely not standard. The standard is one shade, three fog, one wing. That's pretty much what everybody's doing. But I wanted as much grind game as humanly possible with this deck, and not to peek ahead into the extra deck, but there's two fun little link monsters that are there that this card helps support a lot. Anytime your big boy is going to get destroyed by anything that's not Xyz monster related, you can just protect it. And just turns out a lot of decks have such an awkward time getting around a monster like that with protection on top of it. And then also, obviously, this is just an extender from your graveyard. So just like turn one, you're not necessarily trying to draw this, but again, like it's a really good Torn Scale discard or a danger discard as well. Just being able to get a monster reborn every turn is really good.
I don't know. I agree. You used that against me. I was a bit surprised. It took me forever to break the first two Megaclops Big Boy. The last one was just I couldn't break it. It was just too much because you do use the effect of attaching stuff onto your monsters, and that's where it gets really, really dicey. So let's go into the extra deck now. We have 15 cards, most of which, 11 of which are Xyz, and 4 of which are links. So we got double Break Sword, 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. This is not the most commonly summoned monster, but if you do break your Break Sword and you have nothing else to make, I guess this is one of the best ones because booking a card is great. Raider's Knight, this is the OTK option that will surprise you're dead, especially if you built a board. You can get one-shotted if you leave a liability. Double Levier, I did not expect this because once you burn through the first one, I thought that, oh, that's it. But then when it came back on the turn 2, a second one, then I realized what kind of game I was in for. I was like, oh my god, I can't let this cycle constantly happen. And before you know it, you're kind of stuck in the cycle, and getting out is not exactly the easiest thing. Now, I want you to explain the next 3 cards. We have some really interesting cards that matches your avatar.
True. So obviously I like these cards a lot, as you can tell from my avatar. But so these cards are really old. I think they were from the 2012 starter decks is where Musa Rhythm came from, and then Humming was from like World Superstars or whatever. But so essentially, the theory craft behind these cards, I guess the most important one to read is Humming. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience don't really know what this does.
Let me read this. You have 2 level 3 monsters to make. It's an Xyz Fiend monster that's water. Okay, it doesn't exactly have a high stat line of 1100 attack, one's an 1800 defense, but it does state that when this card is special summoned, you can target 1 Djinn Xyz monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then attach 2 materials from your hand as Xyz material. That's a you can, so that part is optional. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material to hold on, what is it? Detach 1 Xyz material from this card to then target 1 Djinn Xyz monster you control. This turn, it can attack your opponent directly. What? Okay. Yeah. This lets. Wait, hold on a second. Target 1 Djinn monster you control. It can even target herself.
Yep, she can target anything. She can also reborn herself. She doesn't list any except herself on the card anywhere. So she's now once per turn, and she now wants to return to reborn herself, and then also to detach to target it to attack directly. So basically, the theory craft behind this is your turn 1 combo is essentially always going to be Bardiche plus 3 Xyz monsters and then 2 traps set. And one of those Xyz monsters is basically anything you want it to be. So because it's anything we want it to be, you can make Musa Rhythm instead. And Musa Rhythm's effect isn't the most relevant. It's a win to out. That's the only reason why I picked this one in particular. It can, when you attack, you can double your attacks to make it 3k. There's a couple other Djinns. There's one called Tempo as well. It can detach opponents' Xyz materials and can out dry it and things. But basically just any Djinn monster going first. And then you link all of them off from Megaclops. So your board is Bardiche, Megaclops, and 2 trap cards, which is pretty oppressive in and of itself. But then basically the follow-up play is the Hummings. So you can essentially Humming on special summons any of them from the grave. So you just 2 level 3s turns immediately into 2 Xyz materials. So that's already 2/3 of the way to a second Megaclops. So even if they out one, they always pretty much have to deal with a second one, which is really, really awkward for a lot of decks to get through. I think of Invoke Shadal. Half the time they don't even have out to the first one, but even if they do have the out to the first one, you have a super easy route to get to the second one. And when they don't have an out to the first one and you have it on your board for your 3rd turn, Megaclops can take any card and then attach it and then summon an Xyz from your grave and then attach it. And that is an and if you do effect, so it's at the same time, which means that Humming doesn't miss timing. So not only do you get to steal a card your opponent controls, you also proc Humming again, because she's not once per turn, to just reborn, Muzu Rhythm, and then just basically you just have like this constant Xyz material loop just to make another Megaclops.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. Like, oh, got rid of the first Megaclops, everything's fine and dandy. And then the second one came out, and I realized I burned most of my resources to take them out. Like, I burned the droplet, and it was not fun.
Your face when I made the second one.
Yeah, I was like, you don't have a second one, do you? You can't be serious. But then you did have it, so props to you. Really well done. We have 1xyz Arc Rebellion Dragon. You can just one-shot your opponent if you get to that part of the combo. It does require you to use break swords to break yourself and another card, opening up the board, going for the kill. And then we of course have Zeus, because you do have a direct attacker to make the Zeus.
Yep. Just so happened that humming attacks directly. Just super awkward that it works out the way, which absolutely does come up in a lot of game states.
I was kind of surprised, like, why would you play Zeus? It's just like you detach so much material, but apparently not. You just make it because it's just easy.
And also to explain a little bit about the Arc Rebellion, just because so in Megaclops has the effect that when you take something, you have damage for the turn, which normally means that you can OTK, but between the 4K attack from Megaclops and then reborning all the Djinns, which in and of themselves is like over 3K, you can usually get, depending, obviously it depends on what your opponent's playing, but I've had plenty of games where I get Arc Rebellion up to like 23K attack just because there's so many cards you can reborn all the time, that swinging for game even through half damage is really common, actually, as weird as that is.
Yes, I experienced that firsthand, because you in our game, that's exactly how you killed me.
Yep.
You decided to use Megaclops effect, bring everything back. I'm like, I think I can still kill you. I'm like, how are you gonna execute that? And then you kept on spitting out more and more monsters, and that's when my yeah,
sorry, you go.
Exactly. I was working out the math. I'm like, that's I had like 7K at the time, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly, I burned an instant fusion, which would put me to 7K. And I'm like, you can't do like 14K worth of damage. And then no, I can do 16K worth of damage. I'm like, oh my god, you were just gonna kill me through it anyway. But yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Like, you can use the Megaclops. And as our XCs, of course, we have Cherubini, we have the Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardiche, and double Megaclops, because double Megaclops, man, this card, oh my god. And if you do attach material and also for the rest of the turn, blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, yes, that's all part of one effect, and that is all simultaneous. That's great. Okay.
I guess the one thing I will say, it's a little explanatory, but Bardiche is actually super not needed. It's obviously needed, but when I say that, I mean, like, if this thing gets gammaed, the way I built the deck is usually, like, when it gets gammaed, your graveyard is usually so full in the first place that it actually doesn't matter half the time, and you're still at least able to get to Megaclops through, like, a gamma on a Bardiche most of the time.
I like that. But what it does mean is that you don't have to deal with the double Fog Blade.
Yeah, it's
or like maybe not. It's like Wing and Fog Blade.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you're securing yourself one layer of disruption less if you do get rid of it. So it's still important, but it's not like the end all of all of this. That's for sure. So yeah, double Megaclops. Remember, Megaclops does have an effect that lets them eat up cards and attach it. It's a pretty strong monster, I would have to say.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I like him a lot.
He's a big boy. And for the side deck, you actually are showcasing a side here. You have more Cosmic Cyclones. More, like, most of it is back row removal. In fact, I would say that even these are also back row removal. You're really just hating on the back row here. I think the focus was, as you mentioned earlier, for Floodgates.
Yeah, so the deck itself, without any other help, can really actually go second really well, just playing through multiple negations. The only thing it has a hard time dealing with is just flip Tikaboo, flip Gozen. There's certain, like, whatever floodgates you have to deal with at the time. So, like, just obviously you can, like, attune your side deck to your particular locals and what people are playing there, but for the most part I still always recommend, like, you just Twin Twister, Lightning Surge, any way to out just problematic trap cards is just the best way to get around decks like that.
No, I agree. I remember my Floodgate monster, Herald of Ultimateness. Just don't let you summon anything.
Yeah, you Lancia main card. Yeah, that's what the call dice for. Is just if your opponent's playing Lancia, you can play that, and then the Phantasmes are just if you are playing against combo, it's just draw Dark Ruler, just like helps you get to it type of a thing. But
no, it makes sense.
And it's also dark. It's also dark, which really helps for Bardiche.
All right, now we're gonna go switch over to the combo side. Sorry to steal you guys away from the combo for a second here, but I'm gonna do an honest review on a product from yourplaymat.com. This is custom sleeve printing by yourplaymat.com, and I sent them this image in, and they came back color-wise immaculate. Just check out the yellow to the orange to the, I guess, the blue. Like, everything is as close to the image on the computer as possible, as long as you send them in the right images. And the centering is really good. The sleeve cutting is also, like, you can't feel anything on the edges. And the backing, well, there's no real true backing. As you can see through to the printing side. So this one is just the regular white as basically the base color of the sleeve, and it's got a clear gloss finish. However, I do recommend two things. First of all, you have to get over sleeves. The reason for that is it scratches quite easily. Because it's printed directly onto the sleeve, that extra material isn't exactly protected. So here are two sleeves that my wife and I were testing around, and we were doing sleeve research for MST.TV. And well, she took these and she's like, oh, we're doing more scratch tests. And well, she banged these up, and I'm like, no. So you can see this guy's anime Scarface, and the arms are a little scratched. It might not look as obvious on camera right now because you have direct lighting on it, but once you start to see the reflection here, they don't reflect light anymore. That would be known as a mark card. So highly recommend getting a sleeve. That's one reason. Second reason is the inking is a little sticky, and if your area is dusty, if you drop it on the floor, oh, you're gonna have a rough time to try to clean it off, and that might actually end up scratching your sleeve. So that part, and there's a little bit of dust here too. I can't get rid of it because it's stuck onto the sleeve because the inking is a little bit adhesive. So just be careful with it. And if you want your product to last, get the over sleeve. That's the best way I can say it. And for the last little bit, they do have a smell to them. I'm not talking about like my Valentine. Oh, I can smell it. It's just, it smells like a really strong Sharpie, probably due to the inking process. And you can either air it out, but if you have to air it out, it's going to be difficult because it's also attracting dust. So just be very careful. And I know, like, sometimes just the artwork itself is more than enough reason for you guys to get it. If you guys want to get it, check it out at, well, yourplaymess.com. Use the code MSTTV 10YP to get 10% off your purchase. And let's go back to the combo. Okay, combo time. Here we are on, I guess, our simulator. And okay, we have a hand right here. We have basically everything we want. Can you kind of explain the different kinds of hands that we're gonna get?
So a lot of the deck is the same cards. A lot of it's just level 3 special summon, a lot of level 3 monsters to your board. So there's plenty of it's not like necessarily like a 2-card combo or a 3-card combo, but like there's so many cards in your deck that are the same thing that so many hands lead to so many of the same routes. So for a hand like this, you'd absolutely want to normal summon Torn Scale. It's the best normal summon in the deck by far. Not to get into the whole theory craft of the deck immediately, but compared to a lot of normal Phantom Knight builds, a lot of them play Tour Guide and the BA engine, but what I like about this build in particular is how you can, when your Tour Guide gets gammed, you lose a lot of time. Like, there's so many ways to disrupt that deck's normal summons and what it's trying to do. But with something like this, so like you'd special summon the Psychic Wielder, and then you already have 2 level 3s on the board. You haven't started any chains. Your opponent has a lot of harder times to respond to these types of things. So now you can Torn Scale discard your cloak right here, and even if they had a response to this, like, you already have so many cards on the board that you can play through whatever. So with here, you'd probably you'd send a Fog Blade here. That sounds pretty good. This deck can waste plenty of Fog. You don't have to worry about ever sending through Fog Blade. You have plenty to waste. And then you would make Cherubini for sure.
All right, let's grab Cherubini.
And then, super important, before you activate Cherubini, you always want to set any trap cards or spell cards in your hand. So set the wings first, because Cherubini, if you do get gammed, he can save himself by sending another card. So you always want to keep on the board so you don't ever lose a way to get to Bardiche. So then you activate Cherubini. And even if they did have a game or whatever, it sends for cost. And then send Conjurer here.
Conjurer?
Yeah, absolutely. Send Conjurer. He's the best way to get to us from Cherubini, and then up his attack or whatever.
And do I want to chain the card? No. Okay.
And then just a Danger in your hand, just to get the free level 3 on the board. You don't have to worry about sniping anything particularly. You could just be another level 3. So yeah, then anything. Yep. And then best to pick Nessie here to get the because Bardiche just takes any dark, so you can keep the 3s in your deck for later. Just get Nessie out, and then Bardiche, and then Bardiche effect.
Oh, we're just going straight to Bardiche.
Yep.
This is the part that really confused me. I was like, where's all the other pieces that are supposed to get set up?
Obviously, you only have 2 cards left on the field at this point. And then Bardiche effect, and then which we're missing one of the Phantom Knight pieces. I think we're missing gloves, so we'll want to get to gloves.
So let's toss the gloves in.
Yep. and then set. We have a set wings already. So set fog blade. Yeah, usually just set whatever you don't have. Okay, set that right there. Not playing around Mech Knights, I see, but that's fine. So then we'll go cloak effect.
Activate the cloak.
Yep. And then that'll end up triggering your
Torn scales.
Your torn scales and grave. Yep. So search for boots. Just get the last piece of it all together.
And get the torn scale.
Yep. And then after you special summon torn, you can special summon boots. And now your hand is empty, which is important for the conjure. We're not going to get to conjure yet, but it's really important to have an empty hand for that. And then you can levier.
Levy. Right, this is the part where you start cycling. I remember this.
So
I was like
vanished because everything just exceeds material. And now you obviously use this effect. Make sure you detach boots, very important. Because you haven't used boots in grave yet. Yep. And then you get your boy out. Nope, no effects yet.
Alright.
And then now is where conjure can come up. So
now
you
we
have
use
extra
conjure.
three extender.
I can see like when I pop up that little grave window, it just says there's so many things I can use.
Yeah, you can chain like every single step of the process. Yeah, you have the traps in the graveyard. Then you summon him, and then you'll need a banished 3 for Levier. So you make Levier.
Make Levier.
Yep, again.
Again.
Yep.
What is this?
And then you'll need a banished target, which boots is the best one, just to get a free level 3 banished and to get another trap.
Okay, this is so confusing. This is like why? Okay, we're gonna grab we're gonna grab another blade.
Yeah, that's fine. You can pretty much just depending on your opening hand, you can grab whatever trap you're missing type of a thing. If you ended up searching wings with the first one, you can search blade with the second one type. Okay, so then you just set it, and then we'll wait. Levier again. Always detach the Phantom Knight cards. You always want them in the grave in case they end up like DD crowing out a name in grave. You always want to be able to like special them back off the traps type of a thing.
Okay, so now we're back to this particular spot.
Yep. And now you'll just need any of your 3s from grave, which you have, I think, both trap cards. Oh no, just the one trap. Yeah. So just reborn out the other level 3.
I guess it's gloves. Sure, why not?
Sure. And now here's where you make the fun, the Muzu rhythm part of this.
Yeah, this is so weird. I thought that at some point I would have went into, like bricks or break my own cards, break himself, make a rank 4.
You can, but I mean that kind of depends on how your opponent interacts with you. If they like stop you midway through, you might have to just make break sword. But here's where obviously you make the big boy himself, Megaclops. Now that you have 3 XDs on the board.
Wow, we're literally just straight up just making the dude. Yeah. All right, Megaclops is which is his arrows?
He points right. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well we're going right here. Open with the zone.
And then you just pass on this, and that's plenty to work with here.
That is pretty annoying. I mean, you got one of the hardest to break monsters. You got a way to protect it. I mean, typically, if this was not the Fog Blade, you would probably just go for wings.
Double Fogblade is good against a lot. It beats through dinosaurs. Even Fogblade gets around Misk as well. So no matter, you have a lot of ways to out a lot of current meta decks. And then wings protection for any trap deck in the game just is really good. Even if they like set strike, you can like wings before you activate Megaclops, and then you can't die to strike. There's like plenty of interaction with it. And then,
for sure. Okay, so this is a pretty good board. Okay, we're just going to kill off everything on the board now.
Yep, we're going to pretend we just get absolutely wiped of every resource.
All right, let's get it over with. That's
get all the back row out. Yep, don't even worry about chaining wings. It doesn't matter. Just,
okay, let me Raigeki now.
Yep, Raigeki.
Okay, we're gonna clear the entire board. What I said, like, it was like why this deck was like super annoying was that even with nothing, like a board like this, you know how much can activate in the graveyard. Okay, I'm gonna normal summon out the third leg of Exodia, and I'm gonna pass on this. So you're gonna show me like, okay, say I got like Dark Ruler or something, and I'm gonna pass on this. I can't do damage.
Yep. Make sure, end phase effect, absolutely.
End phase. Which ones are we using?
You'll definitely use Blade because you have 2 of it. Because the only really thing in this deck that's once per turn that matters is that your trap cards are once per turn per copy in the grave. So you're not even going to reborn Bardiche here. You'd probably just reborn Boots here, actually. And then along with reborning it, Torn Scales is completely broken, so it just reborns itself for free. And then because its reborn effect is once per turn, next turn you'll throw it in the grave again, but it won't be banished because it's an Exceedement. You'll turn it into Exceedement to it before you do that.
Do I use another one? Do I use the wings
don't,
as well?
don't even use that yet. Nope, you're good. Just pass on that.
We're gonna move on to the turn here.
And then pretend doesn't any normal summon, any set card, it doesn't really matter here. So just yeah, I guess you'll just summon whatever card you draw, just to empty out your hand again.
All right, free summon.
Special summon that, and then obviously your hand is empty again, and there's a conjurer in your grave, so you have another free.
Wow, look at that! Just
your graveyard is always full in this deck, so yep, you can go conjurer.
That's what I thought when I was playing against you, was that everything, I'm like, yeah, this is supposed to banish when it leaves the field, this is supposed to banish when it leaves the field, this is supposed to banish when it leaves the field, but then what happens is none of it gets banished, and then I have to deal with the same turn all over again. So what do we do here?
So go to the extra deck. Here's where the fun little piece comes in. You can summon Humming here, and because in our turn 1, so you only use Torn Scale and either of the Phantom Knight one, it doesn't matter. And now when she's summoned, she can reborn the other half of the piece you used in the first part of the combo to get Muzu Rhythm in the grave. So now you're already 2/3 of a way to another Megaclops. Don't change anything. You're good. And now you can take the other 2 monsters and also turn them into a Humming here. Which I know looks a little sketchy. I know it's weird. But she has nothing to reborn, but it doesn't matter. So you can go into Megaclops 3, or sorry, Megaclops 2. Because you have 3 Exceed materials again. And now when Megaclops uses his, so he can steal any opponent's card and then special summon a guy from your grave. So you'll want to reborn Humming here.
Okay.
And then you can take whatever card your opponent ended up playing. It doesn't really matter what it is. Yep. So then just let that resolve. And then she can activate her effect again.
Wait, she's not once per turn.
Nope. And then she can also do it again. Yep.
Wait, what's going on here? Something's not right. Yu-Gi-Oh's broken.
Yep. She is broken.
Hey, hold on a second. What the hell is this?
Another guy out. So now you still haven't used Torn Scale's Grave Effect to revive. So because you did that the previous turn. So now you can use any of your remaining trap cards. So yeah, just pick Wings, for example, or play. It doesn't matter. Reborn, like up Boots again. It doesn't matter.
What is this?
You get another free card, and then
oh yeah, this is how you kill your opponent. Now this is how I died. I remember now.
So we won't really be able to show it on this replay. But
yeah, because there's no popping.
Make Break Sword, and then summon out Arc Rebellion after that, and then you have. I guess we could do the math here for a second. 4,000 plus, so it'll be 62, 73. So just with your own monsters, you can get Arc Rebellion up to like 10,300. And that doesn't even include anything on your opponent's side yet.
So if I put up anything, how much more do I need to put up? Like that's 10,300. So if there was the additional, well, I guess 10,300. You just need, if it's full life, they need 6,000 worth of damage, and then they're dead.
We're also assuming that we lost our entire board turn 1. So like usually before our turn even started, we would have a Megaclops to work with for the other turn, so we could have an extra 4,000 attack on board.
That would be enough to kill, and that's like our current board. But then we still have stuff that we can still bring. Yeah,
obviously,
bring back.
Assuming anything goes wrong, you still get another Boots.
We can probably get Rusty back onto the board to add another 1,100.
Yep.
So that's actually a
get
lot.
Another 2 traps. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember. That's why it was so grindy. Well, there you have it, guys. This is why it was so grindy. That's why I kind of died. I remember the board wipe because Zeus is a card.
Yep.
But
even if you get Zeus, you can just make another Megaclops and then take their Zeus on top of it. And it's really pretty good.
I like this particular part of the combo was just very, very interesting. A new way to play, like, I guess like C's. For rank 3s, if you want to spam Megaclops, I think these are the go-tos. They should be the go-to. I mean, this is from nothing. I like how it just the recovery was just all in the graveyard. Yeah,
we started our turn with 0 cards, like just everything was just graveyard effects, basically, to get our way there.
All right, this was actually, so that's how I died. So I really couldn't figure out the steps to this. It was just so confusing with all these monsters. But anyways, thank you so much, VanillaScoop, for showing me your profile and how to play it and how to execute it, and even the recovery play as well. So don't forget to check out VanillaScoop YGO at Twitch and on Twitter. And that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit the like, ding the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. I mixed that up, but that's all I have to say for this one. And, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.